unless you talk really loud like I do. You don't have to do that.
She's a loud talker.
I am a loud talker.
Okay, then you're probably going to be fine.
I don't know about on air how I am, but
20 seconds. The man. See, look, it says your Facebook Live right here. Here we go. And that's the Wallflowers. And the difference here on KYMO, well, you know what the difference is? The difference is between good service and bad service. Well, it's choosing someone that's subpar or choosing the people like, when you're choosing internet service and streaming services and the whatnot, that's why you choose GoSEMO Fiber and SEMO Electric. And that, my friends, is called a segue.
Excelente.
Yeah, we'll fist bump on that one. That's why I get paid a couple of quarters a day to do my show. It is our GoSEMO Fiber, SEMO Electric Wednesday. Lloyd Rice here. We're Facebook Live. Becky behind the camera. We've got Brittany in here with us today, too. So,
Brittany wanted to come along today.
Yeah,
post-annual meeting wrap-up. Got some discussion about some solar information. A lot of solar conversation going on in the area. Have you gotten your solar salesman call yet, Reed?
I have not.
I have.
And
even followed that through. Had them come by.
Right.
We sat down and had a good conversation. Didn't really fit the Rice household.
is this my conversation or yours?
Not yet. We're not segueing there yet.
I like her. I like her.
Don't steal this is my spot.
Yeah, hey, you children, am I gonna have to separate you two?
No, real good spring stuff going on. What about good Memorial Day, Reed?
Yeah, I mean everything worked out. Fortunately, the weather was a little chilly, so instead of people running their air conditioners like you usually do, people had their heaters on over the weekend.
Right.
But
it was a weird
it was
Saturday.
Yeah.
But then Sunday was really nice.
Lots of people on the area lakes and rivers and this. I don't know if many people were floating the Current or the Jack's Fork this weekend because of the chilly temperatures. But no, it was a good Memorial Day, and now you come out of that first holiday of the summer and everybody's back to the grind, and it was a good month of May. Now we're looking forward to a good month of June, and when we were coming into this segment, we were talking about customer service and things, and that's why Brittany's here today.
Brittany is here, queen of the customer service at the Electric Cooperative.
Well, you know what, and I'll give her some kudos. She's an awesome lady. Always smiling, a little nervous this morning, but I told her, the good thing is I've been taking therapy, so I don't bite as much as I used to in public.
We've got through that.
We've gotten through that, and and thank you, Doc, for the pills that prevent that. But Brittany, customer service. I mean, let's talk about that. With all the new things that SEMO Electric and GoSEMO Fiber have, been putting out there, customer service is probably as important now as it ever was with what you guys are doing.
Yes, we need to communicate with our membership and everybody. I mean, we need to get good communication out there with all the social media and radio stations and things like that. We're trying to just have a conversation with people and get good communication out there.
And that's the main thing is, if you have questions, ask them.
Ooh,
my dad used to say all the time, the stupidest question is the one that never gets asked.
There is a good segue, Reed, because the communication aspect of solar is exactly kind of what we wanted to share today.
Really? Okay.
In that vein. So
customer service, solar. Let's talk about that. How does that play into what you guys do with SEMO Electric and all the other entities that are out there in GoSEMO Fiber? How does that play?
Great question.
So solar companies are coming in hot right now. There are companies coming in from all over the areas trying to advertise, like Lloyd said. You're getting like a used car salesman kind of talk when you get this cold call,
so
to speak.
Yep.
And I mean, it is a good program for somebody to have solar panels if that's what you're intending to do. We just want to make sure that these people are doing this for the right reasons and that they're not getting taken advantage of sometimes. Not that all solar companies are doing this; they're not doing this. Like I said, it is a good program for people. We just want to educate our members and make sure that they call our office and talk to us before they're installing these panels, that they're doing this for the right reason, and that you know, when they're getting hit with these calls, they're kind of telling these people that the inflation rate of the kilowatt hour
Right.
is what they're that's what they're, how do you say
Well, what you're overcoming. You obviously, Reed.
Well, they're talking about raising rates.
Yeah, you're
but like
Mr.
the
Reed.
payback period,
Yeah,
Right.
the payback period, they're saying that you can get, depending on the inflation rate of 5% on electric inflating, that's your payback of putting in these solar
The
panels.
savings.
That we have, right, that you're getting this
They're
money
saying
back.
the same. But now,
But-
now look, I'm not for anybody out there that's on solar yet, and there are practical applications
Absolutely.
in certain areas. I would say for me personally, and this is completely my opinion, and in no way, shape, or form is influenced by anyone that you know. That's the disclaimer. But to me, it would be more of a supplemental thing than a primary thing.
Right.
And the other thing too that people don't realize, you're talking about batteries. And, because it doesn't just, exist out there because you sucked in some sun and did that. This is a power source that has to be, and it's saved back here. Batteries have to be replaced. So while they can, and they're not cheap. So after a certain period of time, that's a consideration you have to have. While
you're
you may
asking
be-
really good questions.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm no stranger to the rain here on this one.
Well,
to quote
and
Keith
what
Whitley.
Brittany's saying is that very thing. Ask the question, and
Right.
and then call us because we do, Reed. We have to buy your production. If you are a member owner, we have to buy your production back. That's state law in Missouri. Your
Okay.
overproduction becomes a little bit of an issue. The difference between Ameren and what the co-op does. What you got there? You look like you had something to say about that.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. What he's talking about overproduction. So if I were to get some solar, and I all of a sudden have a whole bunch of electricity, and I'm still on the grid with you,
Right.
obviously, I'm using it as a supplement. If I produce too much, you have to buy that back. Sort of, kind of.
We're going to give you a credit on that, and
Okay.
you're going to bank that credit.
Okay.
But so we let you bank it and we let you use it.
Gotcha.
It is against kilowatt hour to kilowatt hour, so you still pay availability charges or service fees or however. But and that's what we want to communicate to everybody. We want you all to know that you can come to us. We can explain how the net metering program works, as well as we're not going to tell you what company to use, but we can tell you what companies are out there for solar use. We've even got some members that are willing to step forward and say, if you want to come see our panels and see how they did, see what kind of a recommendation that they are getting from these other people. I mean, we've got people that are willing to do that for us, to give that critique out there.
Yeah, and that's the good thing.
As far as like rates,
Huge.
we have not raised electric rates since 2013. And
It's a long time.
Right. So for them, basing their cold call or sales pitch on an inflation rate of 5% every year, which is what they hit Lloyd with here,
Right.
Is irrelevant to our co-op. Not to say that rates are not going to go up at some point. Everything's going to go up.
Sure.
But to say that is not the right thing. It's not the right pitch to say.
It was so Reed, you get a cold call probably, we'll make fun of it, but it was probably some college kid in a dorm room that had no idea. So then I got handed off later to a warm call. Guy was massaging that information a little more information. Then I got a call back from a salesman, and then finally the I guess the representative came to the house and we talked arrays and what it would look like on the roof. It wasn't going to work in my house, so it was going to be one of the yard arrays, and didn't have the square footage, and we walked through that whole process. But like Brittany said, it isn't that we're anti-solar. Associated we have solar. It is a right and good thing, but the problem is we're not going to produce a lot of solar electricity yesterday or today, are we?
Right.
And that's a very real issue. And then some solar arrays, if they're not put together right, put too many KVARs. It's now get into the techno babble, but it's dirty electricity to us. We can't use it. We're not powering your homes with it today. And there's a lot of engineering and years of engineering and study and maintenance that has went into making the electric grid what it is: reliable, very good, very robust. And you've got to account for that influx of people plugging it in from reverse, you might say. So
well, my best friend's dad, who was a great man, and he was very kind of quiet in many things, but when he spoke, it was one of those he spoke. And I will use kind of something that he always said, and it pertained to shoes. And he always said, if you're going to spend the money on something, make sure that, like with shoes, spend good money on shoes. Buy the expensive pair, because a $5 pair of shoes is a $5 pair of shoes.
Good point.
And in this case too, yes. And I have not had the cold call, but what I have had is an influx of mailers and things like that about this. And again, I want everybody to understand out there, the green energy concept of this is not a bashing of that at all. This
Absolutely
is not what we're discussing.
Absolutely not.
Because there is a place for it, and for me, there's the middle ground. It's not all or nothing, because I don't think any of this.
Right.
There's a place maybe a little bit for wind. There's a little place for this, in the bio this and all that. But yeah, you need to be real careful, like you said, if you're with SEMO Electric or any other electric provider. They come in here because you can start putting things out of whack and out of balance, and then all of a sudden you have an issue.
Well, and you're also talking about, in my case, and again, you're talking 1,300 square foot home, real tidy, tightly wrapped. It's a $34,000 project.
I mean, it's a big project. Some
Yeah.
of them are 50, 60,000, just depending on what you're using. But
Wow.
and for a payback period, for you to pay something like that back over 20, 25 years is what you're
Right.
paying back, right, Louis?
Right. Yep.
I mean, most people, who's even living in a house for the next 20 years? Most people are not even living in a house for 20 years now. So you're still responsible to pay that. If you move off of those lines,
Right.
you're paying for somebody else's solar energy on that house. Unless you're going to pick them up and
Well,
reinstall them. I don't know if that's the case.
Again,
Well, and
ask the question. Yes.
Yes.
What about my neighbor's majestic oak trees that if they're going to block it,
as they keep growing and,
Yeah.
and it blocks this out. Or when they're, like you said, with the customer service part, Brittany, when they call you, these are questions that you need to be asking your co-op. What about the neighbor? What about this? The longevity of it. How is it going to affect my relationship between you at the co-op and me as the consumer if I do this? What about service?
Well,
storm damage.
You've got great questions, Rick.
Right.
I mean, they're all out here. Well, these are things, just like you said, this is not just here's a couple $1,000s and it'll be paid for
That's
tomorrow.
right.
It's not.
It's not that at all. And when your power is out, Reed, at the house, it isn't like we can switch it over and the solar is going to be big enough to run it. It's all interconnected. Your power's out, your power's still out, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And mainly, Reed, too, and Brittany touched on it, but what do you do with that, when the home does sell, or what's that start to look like? And in my case, I looked at Heather and was like, $34,000 for an item in the yard that, do we attach that to the mortgage? Do you add a rider to your insurance? All question. In other words, don't go down that road too fast without checking, because our situation at the co-op for net metering is different than Ameren. Ameren has a little different program as more of a what do you call it,
A thing.
a utility that pays back shareholders.
It's a utility-owned investor.
Investor-owned utility.
It's an
Bang.
investor-owned utility.
Winner. An investor-owned utility obviously has a different way of paying that back than the electric co-op does. Our payback is going to look a lot different. So, long story short, make sure you check with
We've
the
got
team at the
lots
co-op.
of information out there on our website. It digs into more like affiliates of ours. We've got all kinds of help out there. Our G&T, our generation transmission, they have tons of resources on this information. It is just, like I said, it's flooding the area right now, and we've got tons of information about it. We just need somebody to get into it.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing. Ask the questions, call your co-op, call your providers. And look, if I were building something, maybe, especially if I were a younger person.
Great
Let's
point.
say I'm in my 20s, I'm married, I've got a good job, everything's fine, interest rates are low, the wife and I, or whatever we're thinking about, or even if you're a single person, you're building. Well, maybe that investment long-term is something that you look at, a small solar just to kind of back things up. But yeah, I mean, $34,000 on an established, stead, at the
shock.
Rancho Riso Hacienda. That seems, okay, maybe that's a little out of whack. But again, there's so many other facets to this. And again, I want everybody to understand, not knocking So if you're out there working for one of these companies, we're not knocking you. We're not doing that. What we're saying is there's questions that need to
Yes.
be asked to integrate this thing. And I do think the efficiency of solar over time is going to get more.
It's bound to.
My God, they've got little, things
Yeah.
that you can take out in the woods now and unfold and charge your cell phone with.
Bound to.
So as
Reed.
time goes by,
No
it's gonna get
question,
better.
no question. And maybe that's the conversation. Maybe this first or second generation isn't quite the right fit. You've
Maybe
got to
not.
count on the tax credit.
And
Well,
maybe it is.
In my case, they wanted the tax credit to bring my payment down, and I found myself in this conversation. The entirety of it was about the payment instead of the benefit. And we don't want your first conversation with the co-op to be, hey, we've got it set up and ready, come hook it up.
Yeah.
We just want it to be at a place in the process that's like, well, this could happen and this could happen. And again, go see these things. We've got some good member owner customers of ours that are willing for you to come see theirs and walk you through that process.
So, Brittany, real quick as we're wrapping up, if they need to get in touch, they can call you. The number?
800-813-5230 and ask for Brittany.
Okay.
I will give you all the information that you need, or try to at least.
Sure. And again, there's a lot of information out there for all the bad things on social media right now. There's still some good tools
That's right.
available too. And you guys do a really good job with the website of putting, the access, the links, the information out there. Plus too, in your SEMO Electric, the magazines, the rural Missouri magazines. There's a lot of I've seen that information in there as well. So again, do your homework, people. So I'm pointing to the camera on Facebook Live. Do your homework. Not saying it's a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Just do your homework.
That's
And
right.
ask the question.
That's right.
There you go.
So homework stinks. Buy fiber from us. We're really good. It's really fast. We're wrapping up.
And let's
I'm
see,
in a hurry
we're
now.
at over 6,000.
We're over 6,000. We're actually at 6,110 as of
There you
yesterday
go.
afternoon.
That's
so
awesome. That
it's
is
really going good. 9,000 total services. We've got a couple of thousand that take our TV service. Just opening up in kind of the Scott City area, Kelso area. Really going good up there, Reed.
Excellent.
Lots of stuff. Going to carry some. It's the McDonald's Fighting Squirrels this year. We're going to carry that
Excellent.
all season long. Got some stuff coming
Channel
up.
95?
Channel 95, live baseball from the Fighting Squirrels. Looking
awesome.
forward to that. So, yeah.
Do you have the service, Lloyd?
I have the
And
service.
they're in Bloomfield?
They're in Bloomfield.
I have the service too, Reed. It is awesome.
In kind of the greater
Because I
Matthews.
live
yeah.
where I can't get it yet.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
hoping
no.
that the negotiations will change that in the future.
I
But,
was on satellite and it was terrible.
well, like right now, if you get a big heavy cloud, it would go out.
Not
Don't
good.
want to bash the satellite companies,
That's
but
right.
Well, no, we're not going to bash that either. Look, everything does have its limitations. That's true. I mean,
Yes,
it does.
absolutely.
But, overall, what we're looking at and what we're talking about today is the simple fact that, you need to ask questions. You need to look. And if you do have a choice, and I like the fact that we do have choices in this world, because I think that's important for the consumer out there. Or in your instance, you're an investor-owned type things.
Brittany's team is about to get a new drive-through open at our Bloomfield office.
Awesome.
Really nice. Probably sometime this month.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, she said,
Yeah.
I don't know about any of that. She got,
Well, it ought to be ready.
You're jumping the
I don't
horse
know
over
what
that
promise
fence.
and under and
But-
deliver
but
with.
a
Hey,
really-
Fonzie, easy on the shark
That's
jumping.
right.
A long overdue need that
It is
kind of
long
got
overdue.
ushered in because of COVID. And so far, the little pilot with our little side drive-through huts has really proven successful. But yeah, come see us, Reed.
All right.
Fiber, juice, and fiber. That's what we do.
I like it. Brittany, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank
It's
you
good
all
to
for
see
having
you
me.
again. Lloyd, Becky over there on the cameras. We'll talk to you soon. It's a GoSEMO Fiber, SEMO Electric Wednesday. Reed Howell here. It is just another morning show. We're going to take a look at